Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Lunchtime. I am Noah Hiles, and it's another Friday edition of Noah's No Doubters here on Lunchtime. I think we're going to make this a tradition. John's busy calling the state playoffs, so for now, on Fridays, it's just going to be a Noah show, and we're just going to talk gambling, which, if you know anything about me, I have absolutely no problem with. So we'll just get right into things. I got 7 plays for today, 7 picks. I really do like the board, aside from college basketball, which, again, has been my worst so far. My monthly record overall, these are all the picks that I've charted. I haven't necessarily given these all out. I haven't necessarily played all of these. I haven't publicized them, but I have recorded every single one of these. 42, 40, and 1, so just above 500, which I'll take when we're talking about me versus Vegas. I'm pretty proud of that. Show picks 18 and 17. That includes a 2-1 performance from Wednesday's show. So I'm giving out winners, knock on wood. If we can keep that up, that'd be great. So like I said, 7 picks. We'll start with NBA, which is my best league. I'm 60% this month for NBA picks. And we're going to start with one of the best teams in the NBA when it comes to covering the spread, the Miami Heat. The Miami Heat play the Dallas Mavericks, another great team in the NBA, a team that's very, very good against the spread. I'm going to take the Heat at home minus 2.5. The Heat are the best team at home against the spread this year. They're 18-9. But the main reason, they're playing the best team on the road against the spread. So you could go either or with that, or the second best team on the road against the spread, in the Dallas Mavericks. But the reason I was swayed to go with the Heat here, minus 2.5, which is kind of a risky pick, is the Luka Doncic factor. Luka, questionable already with a thumb injury. He played in their last game and played relatively well. I would imagine he does play tonight, but last night was his 21st birthday. So you're in Miami, 21st birthday. I get the kid's European. He's probably been able to legally drink for, a couple years prior to this. But 21st birthday, you're living in America. This is a huge year for him. He's becoming a superstar in the NBA, one of the faces of the league. I'm sure he had a good time last night. Combine that with a wrist injury. Don't expect a lot of production from him, even if he does play, or a lot of production for Luka Doncic standards. A couple reasons to be afraid, like I said, of this pick. The Mavs are the second best against the spread team, or against the spread road team in the NBA. They're 27-2 against the spread on the road this year. And the Heat haven't covered in 4 of their last 5 games, which would worry some. But for me, I actually am encouraged by that because the Heat are a very good team. I believe they'll be probably one of the 2 teams to make it to the Eastern Conference Finals. They're great against the spread. Good teams win. Great teams cover. The Heat regularly cover. I think they bounce back tonight and get the 2.5 points against the Dallas Mavericks. My second team, we talked about good teams. Here's a bad team, the Cleveland Cavaliers. However, they've been playing like a good team. They have. Ever since Beeline said goodbye, he slugged his way out of Northeast Ohio. The Cavs have been good. They're 3-1 since their head coach quit. Then they're 3-1 against the spread in that series. They're not a bad road team either. They're on the road tonight in New Orleans. They're taking on Zion Williamson and the New Orleans Pelicans, who have been playing great since Zion has joined the team. But I like the Cavs. They're a great road pick at against the spread this year on the road, 14-12-1. They're not a bad team that's an underdog against the spread either. Overall this year, when they are underdogs, they're 26-23-2, plus a 13-point spread. For a team like the Pelicans, just isn't enough for me. I feel like this is a bit of a sucker bet. Maybe people are also thinking this, and Vegas did this on purpose, and they know more than me that the Cavs aren't capable of keeping this close, and there are reasons to be afraid of this pick. Like I said, Zion and Ingram have been playing well lately. DeAndre Drummond is out again for the Cleveland Cavs, their new recently acquired big men. The Cavs' most recent win against Philly, while it was impressive, it came against the 76ers team that A, stinks on the road, and B, played without their 2 best players, Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons. So that you could argue that those wins were fraudulent. Their one loss was on the road since Beeline's been fired. The Cavs have been 10-plus point underdogs 17 times this year, which isn't really a good indicator for your season if you're always being a double-digit dog. They're 8-9 in those 17 games, which again isn't great. 5-9 of those games on the road. However, I don't know. I still don't trust that when you're a 10-point dog on the road in Boston or in LA or in Houston or Milwaukee. That's one thing, but I think for the Cavs to be 13-point underdogs against the Pelicans, I don't know. I think they can cover the 13. We're also fading the public on this pick. 71% of the bets made on this game were with the Pelicans. So, I don't know. I go with the Cavs here. Third and final NBA pick, and I think this is one of my biggest bets that I've seen so far this year. I'm tempted to put a lot of money on this. I won't because just because of how confident I am in it makes me a little worried personally, but you should take my word for this because you don't have a crazy brain that's always incredibly superstitious like mine. Oklahoma City Thunder plus 11. Oklahoma City Thunder is the best team against the spread in the National Basketball Association. They're 38-21 this year against the spread. They're also the best road team. They're 21-6 against the spread on the road. Well, why would they be an 11-point underdog, you ask? It's because they're playing the Milwaukee Bucks, who, quite frankly, are a very, very good basketball team. 50-8 this year, if you haven't heard. They've already clinched a playoff spot, and they're really good at home. 17-12 against the spread at home this year. Which isn't really that, you can't really correlate that as much to their overall success, their success against the spread, but they're a really good team. However, the Thunder are a great team to gamble on if you're getting into gambling for the first time. You want to find a couple of reliable teams that you can routinely lay your money on. The Oklahoma City Thunder is a good place to start. 23-8 this year as an underdog. That's incredible. The fact that Vegas keeps doubting this team and making them an underdog, yet the Thunder continue to win people money, that should be enough of a reason alone to bet on them. 23-8 as an underdog this year, Oklahoma City Thunder. This ties for the biggest line against the Thunder this year. They've been an 11-point dog once before. They're 2-0 against the spread this season when they are a double-digit dog. I love saying that. And they've covered 9+. They covered the first time they played the Milwaukee Bucks. They were a 9-point underdog, and they covered that. They were home, but nonetheless, they covered that spread. I believe it was they lost, but only by 2 points. So the double-digit disrespect thing, I want to get into a little bit more here. The Bucks are 13-16 against the spread when they are double-digit favorites this year. We get it, Vegas. The Bucks are good, but to make this team a double-digit favorite 29 times so far this year, and for them to only cover that 13 times, maybe they're not as good as what you think. Maybe they're not the regular season 2016 Warriors or whoever else, the 98 Bulls or whatever we want to call this team. I mean, they're good, but 13-16 when you're a double-digit favorite shows that you probably shouldn't be a double-digit favorite as much. And when you're playing against teams that would currently be playoff teams, they've had 7 games where they're double-digit favorites against teams that would currently be a playoff team. They're 2-5 against the spread in those games. So when they play a really good team, when they're good at pounding on teams that stink, but when they're a double-digit favorite against teams that would be in the playoffs if the season ended today, they're 2-5 against the spread. The Thunder would be a playoff team. This is a no-doubter. You gotta hammer Oklahoma City. Giannis is listed as probable. He's having some back soreness. He's going to play. He'll probably be great. In his last game, I think he had 19 rebounds or something crazy like that. But yeah, Oklahoma City plus 11. I wouldn't be shocked to see the Thunder keep this to less than 5, honestly. We move on to the NHL now. We're on 55% this year. And our first pick in the NHL is the Carolina Hurricanes. We're going with the Canes money line, minus 110. First reason we got to go with the Canes, they're well rested. Their last game was on Tuesday, and that was a home game. So these guys, they've been sleeping in their own beds, just relaxing. They've had some good practices, getting healthy. They don't have a lot of major injuries right now, We're also fading the public. 74% of the public is betting on the Colorado Avalanche, and they have a good reason to. The Avs are a pretty good team, the second best road team in the NHL, and they're hot. And overall, they're the better team. They're a better team than Carolina, but we're taking the Hurricanes tonight over the Avalanches. A hurricane would probably be more devastating than an avalanche. Never been caught in the middle of either. Wouldn't want to be, but if I had to choose one or the other, I think I could survive an avalanche, maybe more than a hurricane. I don't know. Both sound scary. Back to gambling talk. The line actually went down on this. Originally, the Hurricanes were the favorite, and everyone started hammering the Avs. Vegas moved this line because they want more people to bet on the Avalanche. That's what the change means here. So everyone's hammering the Avalanche. I am staying away from that. I'm going against the grain here. Colorado's on a winning streak. They've won their last 4 games, but they've scored 9 goals in that 4 games. So they're playing great defense, great goaltending, but that's bound to snap. I'm going to say it's going to snap today on the road against Carolina, who we're taking with the money line, -110. Second NHL pick, Las Vegas Golden Knights, and we're going with the puck line. We tried the puck line last week with Colorado, ironically enough, and they didn't get it done. But we're going to try it again with Vegas. Vegas, -1.5. First thing you need to know about this pick, why I think it's a good one, is the value that comes with the puck line. Normally when you're betting puck line for a favorite, you're still getting at least around 150 value plus 150. This is -100. It's equal return. So Vegas is pretty confident that their favorite team, the Vegas Golden Knights, is going to win this game and win this game big. There's no hotter team in the NHL right now than the Las Vegas Golden Knights. They are on a 7-game win streak. Marc-Andre Fleury is playing great. He had a shutout in his last game in net. And they're the biggest outright favorites to win tonight. If you're looking at moneyline favorites on the NHL board, they are -270 to beat the Buffalo Sabres. Not a lot of good value in that pick, so you go with the puck line here. Another big reason to fade the Sabres is a little thing I like to call, and I hinted at it on last week's show, the Vegas flu. The Buffalo Sabres had the night off last night, and they were all by themselves in Vegas. I wonder what a couple of young, 20-somethings are doing in Vegas. They're out partying all night. They're going to be exhausted. They're going to be hungover. They'll be recovered, but they're not used to this Vegas life that the Knights live. So the Vegas flu will affect the Buffalo Sabres. Plus, the Sabres stink on the road. They're 10-16-4 on the road this year. They have a winning record, and it's because they're winning more at home. A lot at home, but they're not good on the road. I mean, if you include those 4 overtime losses, they're 10-20 on the road. That's a 33% win percentage when they lace them up and play somewhere that's not in Buffalo. That's not very good. You got to hammer Vegas here, folks. Both teams do stink against the spread. Hockey's pretty unpredictable when it goes against the spread, but again, that would be your reason to be a little bit afraid here. But Vegas Golden Knights, I'm pretty confident in to get that 1.5 puck line. Third and final pick in the NHL, the New York Rangers. I have them going up against the Philadelphia Flyers, and we're taking the over. The goal total is 6 here, which is kind of crazy that this line hasn't moved at all. It opened at 6. I would have thought that this would have at least been bumped up to 6.5, just because of how well both of these teams are playing. Both of these teams are avoiding the under like the bubonic plague, or the coronavirus would be a more modern reference. Everyone's walking around, no one's going to airports, everyone has those masks on, Clorox wiping everything. Neither of these teams, they hate the under. 4 of the last 5 Rangers games have gone over, and in the last 7 Flyers games, the over is 5-0-2. So there's 2 pushes in there, but the under has not made an appearance in the last 7 Flyers contests. Both teams are also, they're red hot, and they're finding the back of the net. A winning streak is great in hockey, but when you're winning and scoring a lot of goals, that makes it easier to gamble and to trail a team. The Rangers are riding a 5-game win streak. They've scored 4+ goals in 7 of their last 10 games. So even when they're losing, it's a high-scoring game. The Flyers, 4-game win streak, and they've scored 4+ goals in all 4 of those games. So both of these teams are scoring. I think the over's a no-doubter here. The only thing that would scare me a little bit, New York's coming off of a back-to-back. This is the back end of the back-to-back tonight. Normally you see a backup goalie that you're excited about. The guy's not as good, but the Rangers have 2 very young very good goalies. So that's something you can't really count on. I think their backup goalie, he's only like 23, 24 years old, but he's 9-1 in his 10 career starts in the NHL. So he's good. He's good. Both of their goalies are young and they're good. They're replacing Lundqvist with a dynamic duo of youth. But we're still taking the over here. Flyers, Rangers, over 6 goals. And I only have one pick for college basketball. I've been awful at college basketball this week. I think I'm like 0 or maybe like 2-7 this week in college hoops or something. I have to check. Overall this month, 46% on the hardwood. It's the only sport that I have a losing record against the spread this year. If you include college football and NFL, from these previous seasons, I had winning records against the spread in both of those. So college hoops, I've been struggling in 46%. We only have one pick for that area of the board tonight, just because I don't want to lose you guys money. I went 6-3, I believe, last show. I want to keep doing well for you guys when I get the whole show to talk about my picks. So we're going with Georgia State -5 as my solo college basketball play. Georgia Southern is who they're playing, and they stink against the spread. 12-13-2 overall against the spread, 6-8 on the road, and 3-6 as an underdog. All of those which apply, being that Georgia Southern is traveling to Georgia State, and Georgia State is the favorite. Georgia State, they're a pretty good home team. They're 11-1 overall, outright at home, which is best in the Sun Belt Conference, and that's got to mean something, right? 7-4 against the spread at home is a better indicator for me when it comes to gambling. 20% of the sharp money is on Georgia State, and that line has not moved. Normally, when you see a big 25% or more of sharp money, you'll see the line move to try to balance things out, but the line hasn't moved. So you'd be betting on what the best gamblers are betting on if you take this pick, including myself. And yeah, that's really all I got on this game. I mean, they're both relatively equal. They're in the middle of the pack as far as the Sun Belt standings go, and it's a rivalry game. It's the end of the year. They're fighting for seeding positioning in the Sun Belt tournament that's coming up. But overall, Georgia State -5. So to recap my picks as we round out the show: Miami Heat -2.5, Cleveland Cavaliers +13, Oklahoma City Thunder +11. In the NHL, Carolina Hurricanes, money line -110. Las Vegas Golden Knights, puck line -1.5. New York Rangers, Philadelphia Flyers, over 6 goals. And our solo college basketball play is Georgia State -5. So those are 7 picks. Again, monthly record of 42, 40, and 1. That's a little bit of a profit depending on how you play with those units. And show picks record 18 and 17. Again, just a little bit above average, but hey, look at me. Everything about this guy says just a little bit above average. But we're going to be great tonight. Be sure to follow me on Twitter at Noah_Hiles95. And if you got any winners that you think are going to hit tonight, let me know. Be sure to play these and let me know how you do. And we'll see you on Monday. Thanks for listening.